So this is a presentation of a clinical case presentation. I said presentation twice. A clinical presentation on A Beautiful Mind for Psychology 107, Section 510. So the first slide is about John Forbes Nash Jr., which is the man that is portrayed in this movie. He begins to develop signs of mental illness while studying as a graduate student at Princeton University for a degree in mathematics. Nash is obsessed with finding his own original idea that will change the mathematics field and the world. He ends up going into remission from his mental illness, but eventually has a relapse. He does go on to win the Nobel Prize despite his battles against his mind. And to the right, you see a picture of John Nash himself, the real John Nash, and his wife Alicia right before they passed away in a car accident in 2015. Next is a slide over the mental illness schizophrenia. And this is the official diagnosis that I'm using to describe John Nash, particularly paranoid schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a mental illness that is found on the schizophrenia spectrum and is defined as abnormalities in one or more of the following domains, which are delusions, hallucinations, disorganized thinking, disorganized/abnormal motor behavior, and negative symptoms. Schizophrenia is labeled under the personality disorders section in the DSM-5. Some symptoms that John Nash had, one prominent symptom that John Nash had, was hallucinations and delusion. In the movie, he is under the delusion that he is working for the government as a spy, and often has hallucinations that involve a college roommate that he never had, and that college roommate's niece that he fabricated that his college roommate had to adopt after the niece's mother died in a car crash. Over on the right, you can see Nash in the movie holding his son, and it seems that he's not concerned that the baby is very upset, or that he's crying, or he's not fazed at all. One missing symptom that I believe was missing from John Nash's case is disorganized speech. Throughout the movie and in all stages of his life, Nash had many symptoms and many things go wrong, but he remained coherent the majority of the time, even when stressed or in the middle of an active episode. The treatment plan for the character was a combination of low-stress environment and medication to treat the illness. The projected long-term outcome was ultimately remission with few to no symptoms. This treatment plan was on par with a typical plan to treat schizophrenia patients in real life, as stress can bring on episodes and increase their severity. A problem that may arise is a patient not taking the medication, which is exactly what happened in Nash in the movie. At that time in history, an extreme form of treatment that could have been considered and was considered in the movie was hospitalization and insulin shock therapy. Finally, a series on psychological disorders in film. Wow, I can't talk today. I feel like schizophrenia is portrayed in the media as this really dangerous mental illness that's filled with crazy people that don't know how to handle themselves normally in public. I feel like this portrayal is incorrect in its nature because many people with this disease go on to lead fulfilling, normal lives just as John Nash did. What we see in the media definitely has an influence on how we perceive it in real life, because many times the media is the only exposure that the general public has to topics such as mental illness is still a taboo subject, even in this day and age.